What is up, everybody? We are officially 1 week away from the Masters, my favorite tournament of the year, everyone's favorite tournament of the year. So hopefully we can have a good week at the Valero Texas Open, build up that bankroll so we can have a little bit more to play with at the Masters. Yeah, can't wait for the year's first major. But this is a pretty good tournament too. I didn't see the Minwoo Lee win coming last week, but man, Aussies in Texas has always been a thing. So probably should have been a little bit higher on him. But yeah, let's turn our attention to this week's event. It's going to be held at TPC San Antonio. Basically, if you're not already in the top 50 in the world golf rankings, then you have to win this week in order to get into the Masters. So somebody like Ben Griffin, he's played 12 events in a row, which is kind of crazy. He's 51st in the rankings right now. Just got beat out by Michael Kim by a few official world golf ranking points for that 50th spot last week. So Michael Kim ended up withdrawing from this event because he's in the Masters, while Ben Griffin, he's going to have to win this week in order to get to Augusta National. Now, it's kind of one of those weeks where you don't really know the motivations of golfers who are already in the Masters. Obviously, this is a prep week for a lot of guys, but it's not like we have a lot of superstars. You know, we don't have Scheffler or Rory or anybody else like that. So for me, I'm not too worried about motivations. I think I'm just going to play the guys that I like. As far as the course goes, it's a par 72 that measures 7,400 and almost 40 yards. The fairways here very narrow. So even though it's a pretty long course, it is not a bomber course by any means. It's more about approach around the green and putting. Total driving is definitely preferred over distance, or if you even want to lean to accuracy, I don't think that's the worst idea. But you are going to be hitting a lot of drivers on some of the longer holes. So for me, total driving is probably the best way to go. Or you can just lean on strokes gained off the tee like we usually do. So I have off the tee weighted to 7%, total driving to 3%. Now the greens here are very small. They're average in size, but they're very difficult to hit, as are the fairways. So last year, the average driving distance or accuracy was 49%. The average green regulation rate was in the mid 50s. So that creates a lot of scrambling opportunities. And again, it places an emphasis on approach play. So guys that are very good with their irons tend to play well here. And we've seen good scramblers like Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed. We've seen good ball strikers like Charlie Hoffman, Corey Connors. So for me, it's like total driving and iron play or a good scrambler is kind of what you want to target here. We've seen Matt Kuchar play well here over the years, who kind of fits the Spieth and Patrick Reed mold. So I got approach weight at 12% total. Around the green, I have it at 7%, pretty high compared to most weeks. Putting, I have it at 8%, and then pretty small weights to birdie or better, and bogey avoidance. So this is one of the most predictive course history courses on the PGA Tour. What that means is guys that play well here in the past tend to play well here again in the future. So I have it at 5%, and then also some of the course history is also baked into the Texas splits here. This is strokes gained in Texas over the last 4 years. There's only a few events in Texas each year, so I don't want to double count the course history too much, which is why I put both at 5%. But in terms of the guys that do play the best in Texas, you have Jordan Spieth, who's obviously from Texas. Corey Connors has won here twice. Tony Finau always plays well when you get him out of Florida. Matt Kuchar, who I mentioned, and then Keegan Bradley, who I really like this week. We have strokes gained on long par 72s. And this is going to be over the last 2 years. So have you Ludwig Oberg, Hideki Matsuyama, Keegan Bradley, Sam Stevens, and Corey Connors kind of leading the way on long par 72s. Then, as always, we have the top 5%, 10%, 25% finishes. You have strokes gained total over the last 3 months, 12 months, 18 months. And then you have your field strength index, which again helps neutralize golfers that only play in bad fields. So somebody that's played a lot of Korn Ferry Tour events or European Tour events, or guys that just play in the weaker PGA Tour events, if they might have like good strokes gain numbers or good stats just because of the weak fields, that helps negate some of that. So let's talk about the field. At the very top in my model, we have Tommy Fleetwood. He has been pretty solid this year, nothing but top 25 finishes. He's top 7 in approach no matter what time frame you're looking at. A very good scrambler, very good putter, very good total driver. Really no issue with Fleetwood in any format. T7 here last year, which I like. He's good on long par 72s, which I like. So no issue with him. Hideki at 9,900, number 2 in the model, kind of feels like a little bit of a discount there. you look at how often he finishes in the top 5% of the fields, by far the best in this field. And his form's been a little bit spotty, but back-to-back top 15s at this event. You have Corey Connors, who's won here twice, always seems to play well. I've talked about him, ever since the API. He plays well there, plays well with the players, and then you just keep playing him until after the Masters. So I'm going to play him again this week. I'll play him again next week, and we will go from there. Patrick Cantlay has never played this event and doesn't play much in Texas, which is kind of surprising. So I don't know. I'm not against him. I'm not for him. He's probably going to be a guy that I don't have a lot of exposure to. Do love Keegan Bradley. I mentioned, great in Texas, great on par 72s, back-to-back top 25s here. Recent form's been awesome. He's made 12 straight cuts, a lot of good approach play during that stretch. He's become a much better putter over the last couple of years. So Keegan, a guy that I don't mind using in cash games or tournaments, might end up being a core play for me this week too at 9,500. Ludwig, probably, I don't know. I think the upside's there. If you're playing multiple lineups, I think he's a guy that you make sure to get some exposure to. But I don't have a strong take on him. The recent play, he did have the win, but other than that, hasn't been as good as some of these other top guys over the last 3 months. You can see here. This is just on a strokes game per round basis. So, he's worse than Akshay, McNeely, Siwoo Kim, Danny, just guys like that. So I'm fine with Ludwig, but again, probably more of a tournament play for me. I would rather start with Tommy in small field stuff or, start a little bit cheaper with Corey Connors and Keegan Bradley. Akshay Bhatia won here last year, a guy that continues to get better. The short game has gotten so much better since he's gone to the long putter. He's become one of the best putters on the PGA Tour, which is kind of crazy. Really good iron player. So no issue with him. I kind of like him next week too at the Masters. You have Tony Finau. Get him outside of Florida. Plays great. So I'll definitely play some Tony Finau. He's one of those guys that he's actually dialed back his distance over the last couple of years. And the iron play is still good. He's got an elite short game. It's just a putter. If he putts well, then he's going to play well. I don't know if anybody saw last week. He had like a maybe 2 or 3 foot putt, ended up lipping it out, and then he tried to go behind the hole and tap it in from the other side. It was maybe 3 inches from the hole, and he barely tapped it and missed that one. So he three putted from 3 feet, which not great for the old strokes game putting metrics, but I do like him a lot this week at 8,800. McNeely, 9th in the model, 19th most expensive this week. That screams value for me. If you take out the 2 Florida events, he's been one of the best on the PGA Tour this season. He's been good in Texas. The irons have been really good recently. The short game's always good. So I really do like McNeely. Siwoo Kim tends to play this course well. He's one of those guys that plays the same course as well each and every year. The fact that he missed the cut last week should help keep ownership down. But again, this is more of an accuracy than a distance course. Last week was more of distance and accuracy. So I think it's a great spot to get back on. Siwoo Kim. You have Denny McCarthy, who nearly won here last year. That was just quite the shootout from him and Akshay. I think they both ended up at 20 under par, and then the next closest was 12 under par. So those two just really separated themselves from the field. Kind of stinks that he didn't end up getting the win because he's been close so many times, almost won Memorial too. Ben Griffin, again, he has to win to get into the Masters. I do worry about fatigue a little bit. He's playing. This will be his 13th straight week in a row. But, man, everything looks good. He's one of those guys that if you get him in the middle of the fairway with everyone else, he's one of the best. So he's good on approach, good around the green, good putter. It's just about getting off the tee. He's obviously going to be motivated. But, I mean, if he gets off to a poor start, then, maybe he mails it in a little bit, knowing that he's not going to make it to Augusta. So I like him, but there is some downside there if he does get off to a little bit of a poor start. Let's keep moving. Berger's been playing great. No issue with Berger. Doesn't project as well for me just because a lot of weaker field events. And then, some of the long-term stuff's finally starting to catch up. So he's number 4 in the stat model for a while there. The long-term stats were kind of pulling him down a little bit. But I think I would play some of him in tournaments. Mitchell, good ball striker, good total driver. I do worry about his short game at a course where a lot of people are going to be missing greens. Spieth, I get it if you want to play him. I'm more of in the boat of if he plays well this week, then I'll probably play him next week at Augusta National. I like Sam Stevens a little bit, although he's typically better on longer courses like we saw last week. Colley's been playing well. Lee Hodges, a guy that T11 last week, rates out pretty well for me. T6 here in 2023. So 7,500 is a guy that I'm going to make sure to get some exposure to. Alex Smalley's a tough one. So the approach play hasn't been nearly as good as you might expect. He's typically known for his approach play. He's kind of been saved by his around the green play, which is a little strange. And then if you look at his course history, he's missed 3 straight cuts here. So if he's going to be popular, I'll probably be underweight on Smalley, even though he does project well for me. No strong take on Poston. Tom Kim, he does do his best on accuracy courses, but he just never projects as well as his price point. He's just one of those guys that is a popular bet in the outright market, so he's never really going to project as well as his price in DFS because a lot of that is baked into the outright market pricing. So no strong take there. Hostler in Texas, he's really been struggling. That's kind of worrying me a little bit. I like Putnam. I like Chan Kim. Victor Perez, probably my favorite guy in the low 7s. He's coming off of 3 straight top 25 finishes, made the cut here last year. You can go to Matt Kuchar. I know he hasn't been great, hasn't been playing a ton of golf recently, but he loves his course. So if there's any time to play him, it's probably this week. Harry Hall is always interesting, playing pretty well, pretty much over the last 6 months, 8 months. See if there's anybody else. Mac Meesener's been playing well. Don't mind looking to him. Tom Hoagie's went to TCU, so you can play the Texas angle with him if you want. Good iron player too. Actually, one of the best in the field. Over the last 150 rounds, number 1. No matter what time frame you're looking at, he's top 6. Everything else has kind of been pretty bad. But hey, if he's hitting a bunch of greens and being good with his irons, then you don't really need to worry about it. That should just about do it for me. So want to wish everyone the best of luck. I'm hoping to have a big week heading into the Masters, and I hope you have a big week as well. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up before you exit out of the browser. We'll catch you back here next week.